Well, this is it, because I'm about to build the final sets that I'm using for my winter village. And it's two of these Christmas trees. I did buy one of these last year. In fact, no, did I buy both of them last year? Yeah, I bought them both last year. Ran out of time to build them, but this year, hopefully, it's cutting it close, but I've just about got enough time to build. So I'm going to build this one, as you can see, standard on the box. And then with the second one, I'll be building the 2-in-1 version where you actually get 2 trees. So technically with 2 sets you can build 3 trees. So we'll have the really tall one, and then we'll have these 2 slightly smaller ones. I think that'd be quite nice to kind of scatter them throughout the village. So let's open it up and see what's inside. But we're just going to build one at a time. I'm not going to open both boxes at the same time because that'd just be too messy. And I think, it makes sense to build the main tree first. So I'll open up the box and we'll get building on the first big tree. God, I need to get a new blade, that's for sure. Right, here we go. There's the instruction booklet all folded up. And you get 2 instruction booklets. So you get this one, which is for the kind of alternate builds with the smaller and medium-sized trees. And then the other booklet is for the one big tree. So, yeah. I hate when the instructions come all creased up. Let's see if I can flatten that out a little bit. And, oh, this is interesting. The bags aren't numbered, but they're sorted by part type. So that can make it easier and more difficult to build, I suppose. Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. And, oh, here's a large Technic axle. Okay. More bags, some similar part types, some mixed. Oh. Oh god. Wow, I did not expect this at all. So I guess I'm going to have to open up everything, organise it, and then start building. This might take longer than I thought. Okay. Okay, so I've just spent too long trying to organise this on my very limited space to, well, work and build at the moment. But yeah, some things are grouped by part type, and we've got a few random piles with just really small parts. God, there's so many parts here. I didn't expect this. And building it this way, I think it's going to be a bit difficult, but here we go. Let's get started. So I've just built the base for the large tree, and I'll be honest with you, this was not a fun experience. Putting all these little tiles on and lining them up, not good. But the base is pretty solid. And now I'm about to start building some of the branches of the tree, but yeah, this is not, so far, not as fun as I expected it to be, but I shall persevere. So I'm working my way through the build, and it's coming together quicker. Like, the more I put parts together, the quicker it becomes, but there are still a lot of small parts. It's all just plate work, really, isn't it? Arranging plates in different layers and things, and putting them at different angles, but yeah. It's getting there, I think. Still a lot of parts left, but it's really satisfying to, as I take one from each pile, obviously the piles are getting smaller, and I'm more interested in clearing these piles than I am putting this together at this point. I'm now about halfway through the large tree, and this is going to be quite large, just looking at the box. Like, that's how big it is. And I'm about halfway, so still a bit to go, but yes, determined now. So this is it. I've actually finished building the first tree. I just need to put it all together, but I think I made a mistake somewhere because I can't quite get it together. So this section, which spins for some reason, don't really know why, I didn't need to, but it does, will attach onto here. But then this topper should go on here, although when I put it on there, it doesn't connect. There's a, yeah, you see that? It's not going down any further, so I think I've gone wrong somewhere because it should go down. So it's just a plate too tall somewhere. Need to fix that. But otherwise, look at all these spare parts that are left over, ready for you to start building the second tree. Like, this is a weird 2-in-1, because usually with like Creator 3-in-1 sets, for example, you don't get any extra parts. You make the alternative builds out of the main builds, but they've actually given you a lot of parts to make the optional second build. But even though I've got an extra set over there, so I'll have all these spare parts just to have in my inventory, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But then once I build the 2 smaller trees, I imagine I'll have leftover parts from that as well. So nice bonus pass pack. But yeah, I need to figure out what went wrong here. I've just figured it out. I forgot to include that 4x4 round green plate. That needed to go on the underside of this one here, which would raise it up by a plate, which is what I need to fix everything. So at least it wasn't like a step miles back. It was just one of the last ones I did. So problem solved. Wait, I was wrong. It wasn't that one. It was one of these. So this top half of the tree could be a Christmas tree in itself, really. I mean, ta-da, there's your Christmas tree. But no, there's the rest of it. So one thing I've learned from building this is that I can't pay attention to instructions because I've done it again. I missed out another one of those. Despite this build being very repetitive, I kept missing out the same part, weirdly enough. You can tell I've been building this late at night after a long day at work because I spotted another mistake. All of these should be one stud further out because I couldn't attach that. Ugh. I think I'll save building the other two trees for tomorrow. Man, I just can't pay attention to instructions. Okay, I think everything is fixed now and the tree is complete. So the top can spin for some reason, but it's also not attached. It just balances in there, and I'm fairly certain, I've checked the instructions, it is supposed to be like that. I guess it helps with storage, so you can just take it apart and then, you know, store the two. Or like I said earlier, that could be a tree in itself, just that size, but then, you know, you can also build it into a smaller tree anyway. So yeah, look at that spinning tree. It's too bad the whole thing doesn't spin. It reminds me from that scene from Doctor Who. Right, I'm going to clear up all these spare parts and we'll skip to another point in time where I begin building the other two trees from the second box. But wait, before we switch to the next build, I made this out of some of these spare parts. This very small Christmas tree, which is, you know, it's not bad. You know, the decorations aren't all that because, well, I couldn't fit these. I tried these, but they looked too big and I didn't have enough other smaller pieces. So, you know, it's alternating colours and alternating patterns, but yeah. Little mini Christmas tree. And then there's this, you can't count that as a tree, can you, that gold one? But it's there. So it's the next day now. I'm feeling refreshed. Obviously I built this tree yesterday with that unofficial mini build over here, but now it's time to make the two smaller trees, well, the medium-sized tree and then the smaller tree today. So yeah, let's get this done. So just like before, I've got all these parts to sort out before I can begin building. Oh, what joy it is. So I've organised the parts, and it feels like I've got even more here compared to doing it last time, and they're, well, it's just a lot of green, isn't it? It's hard to see at the moment, but that's what we're going to be building today. So what one are we going to start with? Is it the big one? Yes, so we're going to start off with the bigger one, and then after that we'll build the smaller one. So these are all the spare parts, well, leftover parts from the medium tree, because that is complete. And even for the medium size, it's still quite large, actually. But then once I build the smaller tree, obviously it's not going to use all these parts, so there's going to be even more spare parts that I'll have to use and put together. So let's put the medium tree next to the large one. Just a minute. So here's the medium beside the large. Quite the size difference, really, what you put next to each other. Like, even, like I said, this one by itself is still a good size. Now it's time to start the smallest tree from the set. Okay, so I'm very nearly finished the small tree, but somewhere I've kind of gone wrong because I'm missing two 2x2 green plates. I haven't got any left, but you should be able to build this tree and that tree at the same time. So I don't know what's gone wrong there, but I do have spares from the other set, which I can use, but technically I shouldn't need to. So somewhere, either in this tree or when building that one, I've included 2 extra plates that shouldn't have been there. Oh well. And when pretty much these entire builds are made up of plate stacking, I'm not going to go back through to find out where or if I went wrong, because that's just going to take too much time, but luckily I have spare parts. Okay, I have finished it. So out of buying 2 sets, you can build these 3 trees. Of course, the most you could build is 4. So I've got the main build, which is this tall one here, and then the alternative builds, which are these 2 small ones here. So there we go, 3 trees, and then a bunch of spare parts. I wonder, I could probably make some good things out of these bits, but the main focus is these Christmas trees. And just to finish things off, I took apart that other small Christmas tree I made, and using all the combined spare parts, I made this bigger one, which has got some decorations on it. I just wanted to keep it with the basic 1x1 round studs. I know brown isn't the most festive colour, and it's a shame it's not the same flower pieces the other 3, but I didn't want to use the hearts or the stars on it, just to try and be a little bit different. Now that I've finished building them, I'm happy to have them. Like, sure, to start with, and at moments there were times where the building experience wasn't all that fun, stacking all these plates and things, but they do look really good now that they're all together, and I can't wait to scatter them around my winter village. So stay tuned for that, as I'll be doing it real soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out the other videos on this channel or on one of my other channels as well. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share with your friends.